You're live.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, and this has been fun for me because we're not just teaching, we're doing some techniques, right? And hopefully changing some things. So I want you to at least test one of the tools with identity. You know, the main tool is the self-concept coaching, but we don't have time to really do that because that takes a minute. This is a tool that works very quick, and plus it'll be one that you can continue to use yourself. You can just make copies of this. Maybe Latanya will get everybody another copy of the page because you're going to write into this page. But if not, you'll be able to just follow these instructions. This is a technique we use called mind shifting, and it's very simple. It's not a competition, so some of you are going to feel the shift right away. Others are going to have to go through it a couple of times. And I want you to just to stay into it because it's whatever your mind takes to accept it is what it takes. A few things for me I want to clear up before we start is if you notice where it's letter A, it says, please write down in a few words and try to be specific about it. In other words, you're not writing a paragraph. You're just writing a few words to describe what it is you're speaking about. Another area that I want to make sure you're clear about is I'm going to ask you at some point, what's your goal? And we've already talked about you're getting one result, so what you want is the opposite. So what is opposite for you? So I'm asking you, what's your goal? What do you want? So you're going to write that down at the appropriate time. And one more thing that I want you to be aware of is I'm going to ask you at some point how would you say it? I'm going to ask you to, let me just read it to you so you'll follow all the way. Please read the goal you just wrote down back to yourself. Now close your eyes and use your imagination to feel yourself achieving the goal. Imagine whatever you need to imagine to achieve the goal fully in your mind. That's the point I want to highlight for you. Imagine whatever you need to achieve the goal fully in your mind. What you're imagining does not have to be based in reality. It can be, for instance, maybe you say, well, my goal is to make $1 million. You might, and I'm just using this as an example, you might imagine, oh, I just won the lottery, or let's see, we're in Vegas. I just went downstairs and hit here, and won $1 million. Okay, yeah, that's not, and that's fine. Whatever you imagine, so we want you to achieve the goal in whatever way. It doesn't have to be realistic, or it can be realistic, but just imagine yourself achieving the goal. And this is one of the most interesting steps in this to me. It fits along with everything we've ever learned about the mind. Is there something powerful about your mind actually imagining achieving your goal in your mind? It actually lays down a foundation, and it puts your mind at ease and say, oh, we got that already, right? And it just helps you. It takes the stress and the angst away from what's going on. So that said, the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. As I said, I'm going to run you through this process a couple of times, and I'm going to ask you at some point, do you still feel the problem? If you still feel, hello, Q. Hey. Yes. If you still feel the problem, fine. You're just going to go through it again. If you don't feel the problem, fine. You'll just stop, and we'll wait on the other people to move beyond the problem. Any questions before we start? Everybody's good?
What was that page again, Joe?
Page 13,
Okay.
identity shifting. So,
And when you refer to problem, can you give a little, what?
it's whatever problem you want to write down. You just pick a problem. You can I would suggest picking a problem that may have something to do with your business or your ministry, because I would suggest going in that area. In your business or your ministry, just any problem that you're having. Okay? Any problem that you would like to move beyond? And what other questions do you have? And we'll take our time so that everybody can stay on the same page. So please write down in a few words and try to be specific about your problem. Letter B, what's the problem that you want to clear? If you could take whatever time you need to write it down, and when you finish, raise your hand so I'll know you're finished. The letter B, what's the problem you want to clear? And again, just write it down in a few words. I want to increase my income, $20,000. Whatever it is, just write it down in a few words. Is anybody not finished? Okay, letter C, as you think about the problem, what kind of person are you being? As you think about the person, what kind of person are you being? You could just say, I am being a fearful person. I am being a poverty-minded person. What kind of person are you being when you're thinking about this problem? And be honest with yourself. You don't have to share this with anybody, but what type of person are you being? We're trying to identify your identity around this problem. If you're finished, raise your hand so I'll know that you're finished. I don't want to move ahead of anybody. Okay. A few more. Okay. You can put it down. You guys finished? Okay. Letter A in step 2, please read the problem you have written down back to yourself and then close your eyes. Please read the problem back to yourself and close your eyes. Now, I want you to feel the problem. Exaggerate the feeling of it, and then write down the first thing you notice about it. Just the first thing you notice. Doesn't matter what it is, just write it down. The first thing you notice. And once you've done that, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Letter B. Please read the problem you wrote down again. Now close your eyes again and feel the problem fully. As you're feeling the problem, notice in this moment right now, what do you want? What's your goal? Then write your goal down. And once you've done that, please raise your hand. Okay, okay, okay. Letter C. Please read the goal that you just wrote down back to yourself. Now, close your eyes and use your imagination to feel yourself achieving that goal. Imagine whatever you need to imagine to achieve that goal fully in your mind. It can be realistic or it doesn't have to be. Just achieve that goal fully. And once you've achieved the goal, write down the first thing you notice about it. And once you've done that, please raise your hand. Once you've fully achieved that goal and written down the first thing you notice about it, whatever comes to mind, I mean whatever, just write it down and raise your hand. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to wait for everybody to achieve their goals. So make sure you raise your hand after you achieved your goal if you haven't. Okay, good. Now take one big deep breath in and one big deep breath out. Take another deep breath in and one big breath out. Now please read the problem you wrote down at the top of the page back to yourself and then close your eyes and notice, can you still feel the problem? If you can still feel the problem, raise your hand. And this isn't a competition. People take different times. They have to go through this part. If you can still feel the problem, raise your hand. Okay, good. Anybody else still feel the problem? Okay, I'm going to assume that you didn't. So now please read the, If you still feel the problem, we're going to keep going until you can no longer feel the problem. So I want you to read the problem again and tell me what type of, write down in letter C, what type of person are you being?
Which letter?
In letter C. Just write down if that's changed, what type of, up at the top, in step one, what type of person are you being as it relates to this problem? Maybe you're being the same type of person, but just if you are, you can just let it go.
Trouble.
Okay. What type of person are you being? Okay. Please read the problem back to yourself that you have written down. Close your eyes and now feel the problem. Exaggerate the feeling of it, and then write down the first thing you notice about it, whatever that is. You notice it's cold, you notice it's hot, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And once you've done that, please raise your hand. Okay. We're going through it again if you still feel the problem. Do you still feel the problem?
No.
Okay. So if you can sit tight for a minute then. So please read the problem you wrote down again. Now close your eyes and feel the problem fully. As you're feeling the problem, notice in this moment, what do you want? What's your goal? Maybe it's changed, maybe it's the same. Whatever it is, write the goal down. And once you've done that, please raise your hand. Okay. Please read the goal you just wrote down back to yourself. Close your eyes. Use your imagination to feel yourself achieving the goal. Imagine whatever you need to imagine to achieve that goal in your mind. It can be realistic or not, whatever you need to imagine. And once you've achieved the goal fully, write down the first thing you notice about it. And once you've done that, please raise your hand. Now take one deep breath, or one big breath in and one big breath out. And again, one big breath in and one big breath out. Now please read the problem you wrote down at the top of the page back to yourself, and then close your eyes. Now notice, can you still feel the problem? If you can still feel the problem, please raise your hand. Because the way this works, you go to it until it's the problem, you can no longer feel it. Anybody still feel the problem? Okay. And again, when you're doing this for yourself, sometimes you go through it over and over again. It's something about this process of facing what you notice. It's something about this, what you notice, and then feeling the problem. But a big problem with problems is that we run from them. This is causing you to say, no, feel it. You don't need to run from it. Feel it. And then notice what you notice. And then the other big step for me is like when you achieve the goal around that problem, it releases that problem within your nervous system. And then you can go on and focus and really solve it. But it's something about imagining yourself achieving that problem that sets it up. Now I want to ask you a few questions, and everybody can just answer these questions. Anybody that would like to share, it's great as well. How do you feel about the problem now? How do you feel about the problem now?
So now I feel like I've made a decision. So now I'm clear-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm back in God's rest. Making decisions really helps to clear that weight, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Who else? How do you feel about the problem now?
I feel like I can help eliminate or make a big dent in decreasing the problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Knowing now that from the information that I'm getting now I know that I can attain it.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's good.
I guess mine is just now knowing that, again, decision, but also that I can say no.
I love it.
Danny, why are you always so difficult?
Why do I gotta be difficult? Why can't I just suck
That,
it in?
Danny, that's our question.
Oh my Lord. My biggest thing is time. And I know, and that's one of the biggest questions I keep asking myself. I ask the Lord, give me more time. Meaning that help me to stop being lazy and get out of the bed and do what I know you're saying for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest thing was time and being lazy.
So how do you feel about?
Now that I know that I don't have to make excuses and get up and knowing the first thing I need to do in the morning to help me accomplish being debt free.
Okay, all right, good deal. Now that wasn't hard, was it, Danny?
No.
I feel unbothered. Yes.
Okay. And I would give you my mic, but it's too hard to take off. Oh, yeah.
I feel in control.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Another question: How has it helped you to do that mind shifting method? How did it help you to do it? And we can start with you, Pastor.
It's helped me to look at situations differently. Instead of getting overwhelmed and that it's out of my control, I feel that, hey, God has deposited into me, and I can take control over the situation.
Awesome. How has it helped you to do this mind shifting method?
It helped me to focus
Uh-huh.
on the primary thing, the main thing that is creating hindrance.
Okay.
So focus was a big thing.
Awesome.
It has helped me to feel relieved that I know that I can do this and make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Why you gotta be different?
Mine is let it go, because I carry a lot by choice, and just let it go.
Control.
Uh-huh.
Now I can control the situation. I ain't got to have this play the mind game that what you were saying earlier about as far as controlling your mind, you taking control of your mind. Now I can control my mind instead of speaking something that is not real.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those things are not scratching along the fringes. So doing this exercise has caused me to pinpoint and notice that those problems are not scratching with fear on the fringe.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is something, there's about 4 or 5 different mindset or mind shifting techniques. One is called blockage shifting, and you actually do blockage shifting over and over. And it's one of my favorite ones, because you start with a problem, and then you just keep asking yourself, after you go through the first one, you say, well, now what's the problem now? And the goal is to keep coming up with whatever things seem in your life as a problem. And you might go through 20 problems. But what it does is it clears all of that out of your nervous system. Because those problems are stealing energy. Those thoughts in the background in that subconscious mind are taking energy and distracting. So that's one of my favorite ones that I'll do every couple of months. I'll just go through the script and what's the problem now? What's the problem now? And just clear up all of that. And so you can do that with this as well. That's a tighter, you don't have to go through as much steps when you're doing them over and over. But I mentioned that to say you can sit down some days and just go through this and pick out 5 things that are problems and just clear it out, because there's something about walking through it in your mind that really just, your mind gets at ease about it. So we'll go back right around one. We'll start with you. One last question. What is your intention or your plan now in relations to that formal problem? As it pertains to that problem, what's your plan going forward? What's your plan?
Well, that would take time. I wouldn't be able to think like right off the top of my head.
Okay,
with
that's
that.
fine.
But to remain proactive in the things that I'm doing, but paying attention to my peace and because I know if my peace is disrupted, and so have learned through experience that I function better in a position of peace. So now, having that printout, it's like, oh, if a situation were to arise, that I can go through that exercise and identify what needs to be identified and dealt with.
Right. Good. Yes. Yeah. That focus.
For me, it's saying that now I can tell myself that, okay, I'm going to get up at a certain time every morning and meditate on God's word. Because me personally, when I get up, the first thing I want to do is get before Him, get before the Lord. And when He says to meditate on His word day and night, it's for me important for me to get through my day and knowing that I'm using that time wisely and I'm not being lazy. It's for me to meditate on His word, for Him to lead me, guide me, and instruct me for the day that He's given me. So that's what's important to me. And my thing is I've been struggling with, or was dealing with, it's like, okay, I'm just going to lay in the bed. I'm using that mind frame. I'm retired. I don't have to get up at a certain time. So it's not, no, you're not retired. You have a job to do. And that job is to do what thus says the Lord.
Okay.
And that purpose that He has for my life. So now I can say, okay, I can get up at this time and stop making excuses and get before Him and read and study His word and then say, okay, now your plan for me for this day. And for that day could be just me getting up and just staying in His word all day and not watching TV.
Okay, good.
Mine would be to be fearless and focused, and that would give me clearer vision to be able to work on the plan and the purpose that God has for my life.
Okay.
Mine was to continue to move forward no matter what my setback was.
Okay.
Just continue to move forward.
Excellent.
I would say I would need to start to work on decreasing the problem and trying to eliminate the problem.
Okay.
Sean, I'm a 5 W's person, right?
Yes.
So
I found out today. Yes.
starting with the who, I always had to start with the who, and I've been having trouble with the who for a pet project of mine. And I think there was like some shame on, depending on who the individuals were. So now that I've made the decision, I can now move on to the other part of the 5 W's. I've got the who, now I can fill in the rest. So that gives me, I was blocked, stopped.
Awesome.
In the problem I was having, I felt that out of control. Now I could feel that I'm in control. So now my intention is to take initiative over it.
Okay.
I mean, because it doesn't help if you just feel that you have control, but you don't do the initiative to do something about it.
Right, yeah. And I think everybody spoke a little bit to what LaTanya said. Is really, it's about this focusing in on this situation, giving yourself that space to deal with it. Because most of the time we're moving so fast and doing so much. We're just, stuff is in the background and we're just going on about our business. But this gives you a process, at least one technique. We have several. You got 2 techniques now. You have the one for watching things, which is very powerful. When you got a problem, watch it. I call it watching. That's the first thing I've ever called it. We call it observational thinking now, but go through the process. It'll also bring about this type of clarity once you see how you're doing things. And then this is a nice little quick process as well. And what I want to do, this is, can we cut Facebook off now? Because I want to, this is just for you guys. I want to share with you some things. As a matter of fact, if you turn to page